This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, August 18th. I'm Tori here with Jeffrey, and Lindsay joins us from home. Jeff, I'm glad you got it. Whoa, Lindsay! Va-va-voom! You look fantastic.
I'm glad she said that because I would be fired. But you look terrific, Lindsay.
She's also in like a cool art gallery. Lindsay, Jeff had some car trouble getting here, no? You okay with the car?
Yeah, I had car trouble, and I think I'm having earpiece trouble as well.
Can you not hear?
No, I can't hear anything.
Okay, great.
So that's going to be great for Lindsay.
Is Mercury in retrograde or what?
Yeah, I don't know why you started off with that. I had some car trouble. My wife needed a car. We didn't use our other car for a while. I couldn't jump it. Apparently, I'm not a man, and now I need to change an electrical outlet in my house. I don't know how to do that, so I'm not feeling great about my manhood.
The man card is in question as we speak. No, I'm just kidding. You're going to do great.
Great way to kick off the show.
Way to kick off the show. I had to get you. All right. Well, the Democratic convention kicked off last night, and everyone is talking about Michelle Obama's keynote speech. The former First Lady did not hold back going after the president. Let's all take a look.
So let me be as honest and clear as I possibly can. Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head. He cannot meet this moment. He simply cannot be who we need him to be for us. It is what it is.
Which was, I think, a reference, again, to Trump's response to the coronavirus death when he said, it is what it is. Michelle also gave a very strong endorsement for Joe Biden. Take a look.
I know Joe. He is a profoundly decent man, guided by faith. He was a terrific vice president. He knows what it takes to rescue an economy, beat back a pandemic, and lead our country. And he listens. He will tell the truth and trust science. He will make smart plans and manage a good team. And he will govern as someone who's lived a life that the rest of us can recognize.
The president responded this morning, tweeting, "Somebody please explain to Michelle Obama that Donald J. Trump would not be here in the beautiful White House if it weren't for the job done by your husband, Barack Obama. Biden was merely an afterthought, a good reason for that very late and unenthusiastic endorsement." I want to speak more on the speech that she gave. I follow speeches. I'm a nerd, political speeches. It was a riveting speech. It was one we will go down in history. When we needed someone, she was there. I would say she was the mom and the friend. She spoke about empathy. She was our healer. She was also the First Lady, saying, I've been there. Look, this isn't easy. This is hard. And this guy isn't up to the job. It wasn't personal. She just said it is what it is. It's almost like the mom or the adult that's just going to tell you like it is while ripping the Band-Aid off. I thought she nailed it. Lindsay, what did you think about the speech?
I mean, I thought she's obviously the star of the show, but I also think that, you know, she said that she goes high, and that's one of her statements ever. And so in this, she doubled down that going high doesn't mean that you're smiling in the face of cruelty. So some of the protesters and people that stood up for people like George Floyd and stand up to things that aren't right, that's also considered going high. And I thought that was an important case to make. But I hope that she's not, everyone's talking about her speech. If she overshadows Biden, to me, that's problematic when he's the one running for president. So I'm excited to see what happens in the coming days.
I understand what you're saying, and I do think we kind of needed an opener, and she was kind of like the good kickoff, but I hear what you're saying. There was also a beautiful moment, Jeff, from Kristen Urquiza, and I wanted to play it because it really meant a lot. Take a listen.
Hi, I'm Kristen Urquiza. I'm one of the many who has lost a loved one to COVID. My dad was a healthy 65-year-old. His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump, and for that, he paid with his life.
That is an argument that is hard to not listen to. I thought that she was very convincing and very real, and I think a lot of us were put in her shoes. What do you think, Jeff, of the DNC?
Well, some people seem a little bit more excited than others.
What are you doing? Is there something wrong with your neck?
Listen, I think it's very important. I think it's very important that we all pay attention to these, even if we don't watch the whole thing, at least try to catch up on some of the highlights. You guys said it perfectly. I thought Michelle Obama did a great job, but I was feeling the burn last night. I'm going to tell you why I was feeling the burn. Because he goes, listen, I'm going to support Joe Biden. If I lose to somebody, I want to support them and see them win the championship, right? Again, it's very hard to try to walk the line here without people jumping in saying, oh, he's for this side, he's for this side. I like that he's like, you know what, I don't agree with everything that Biden's saying. I have my own things. We butt heads on these certain things, but I want to bring everybody together, including the conservative side. I want to work with everybody, and I like that. We need more unity. We need more leadership. That's what I like about Byrne, but like Lindsay said, she brought up a good point. I think some of these people are outshining Joe Biden, and that's just my opinion.
I think in order to avoid...
But I also...
Oh, go ahead. Please, Lindsay, go.
No, I also think that it's important that they brought former Ohio Governor John Kasich to the table, because he is there as somebody who was a very popular governor, and he is standing there at an actual crossroads and telling us that we were in a crossroads, that was too much of a play on words, but he actually stood at the crossroads and said that he wants to go across the aisle, and Joe Biden is running on the fact that he can reach across the aisle. He has a record where he has reached across the aisle and worked with other people, and we all know that we are looking for some type of unity, so I think that that's a good stance to run on, as opposed to some other things that Joe Biden has been running on.
Yeah, I agree with Lindsay on that one. To reach across the aisle is so big in today's day and age. I can't believe I can't jumpstart my car and I know more about politics. I don't know who I'm becoming. I don't like it.
I'm so proud of you.
I am not.
So
if Corey likes me, I feel like I'm losing in life.
That's the worst thing you could have said ever. I did think, though, Lindsay's right. She brings up a great point. A lot of Republicans who had voted for Trump were in there saying, look, I'm from Pennsylvania, I'm from Ohio, and I made a mistake. And I think that was open, honest, and that actually affected me a lot. We got a comment here from Chris Taylor. It says, it takes a great deal of cognitive dissonance for a privileged black woman to lecture whites into actually need to work for a living about the privilege of their skin color. Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed
I didn't understand that.
I don't know.
I don't appreciate that at all. So we're going to move on because I don't get that. All right. A lot of people online reacted to last night's star MC, Desperate Housewives actress and activist Eva Longoria, who kicked off the virtual event. More actresses are set to MC each evening, including Kerry Washington, Tracee Ellis Ross, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Social media lit up with people mocking the use of star power. And Senator Marco Rubio tweeted this. Brilliant move. No one is more in touch with the challenges and obstacles faced by everyday Americans than actors and celebrities. I'm just going to say what everyone's feeling. There's a reality TV star in the White House as the president. I don't think we can ignore that he's a celebrity. I mean, who's running our country at the point? What do you think, Linz?
I mean, I think a lot of people were trying to figure out, as important as it is to have somebody representing the Latino community to be speaking at the convention, to host the whole thing with no audience, to me, as somebody who watches them every time they happen, felt weird, because with the star power, you get a really big excitement from the crowd, and then if you're watching at home, you get equally as excited. And so this time, it kind of fell flat, just like watching her host it in front of a green screen and having these conversations that were clearly taped. So it just felt, you know, I don't know, it felt like a news program, like you're watching another news network or something. But I hope that she got her message across.
I actually really, really liked it, and I think they did the best that they possibly could with what they did. Did you like Eva? I thought she spoke to the Latinx community, but she also spoke to women and as to activists as well.
Listen, it's double-edged sword for me, or maybe a positive, I should say, because listen, you have to use celebrities because they have the biggest reach. They reach the most people. Smart. It's no different than advertising and spending more advertising dollars. It's the exact same thing. You're getting your bang for your buck with this person talking, okay? At the same token, on the other side of that, you can't vote for somebody because Eva Longoria wants to vote for that same person and you're a fan of Desperate Housewives. That's ridiculous. Like, so if you think that your favorite celebrity, just because John Mayer's playing a song next to Joe Biden, you're like, hey, I love John Mayer, my vote's going for Biden. That's terrible.
However, if you like Bruce Springsteen or Eva Longoria,
that's who I was trying to think of, but it didn't pop in my head.
I know. I'm like, John Mayer came out of nowhere. But I will say, if you like them as people, as activists, online, as their own individuals, and you follow their morals, then yeah, I would say I appreciate her recommending someone, because I agree with you.
I don't. I disagree.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Let's fight about it later. All right, as more and more students head back to class, schools are struggling to stay open. And of course, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill has just now decided to shut down in-person classes a week after reopening. The decision came after 130 students tested positive. Meantime, in Wuhan, China, which was once, if you remember, the epicenter of the pandemic, the beginning, the ground zero, things have largely returned to normal. The city hasn't reported any new cases since mid-May. Check out this massive pool park party that took place there over the weekend. Thousands of people packed together for an electronic music festival. No social distancing or masks needed. But they haven't had a case since May. What are your thoughts, Jeff?
First, let me go back to the college. UNC
UNC
did shut down, but their athletics programs did not.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting on that token. So that could be a whole
Where the
other
money is,
conversation
huh?
in itself.
Wow.
Yes. So we'll see how that goes. I believe the Big Ten already shut down
They
their
did. Yep.
football season.
Go Blue.
And so I don't know what's going to happen with them. So anyways, putting that aside, going back to Wuhan, listen, I don't know if we could, I don't want to go down this road, but can we really trust what's going on in China, the numbers that we're getting out of China? This is Wuhan. They have been they're a lot more strict than we are in their rules about going out and wearing masks and things like that.
Yep.
We see the brutality almost of people who disobey that. And we know if you stay inside in a perfect world, in 2 weeks, the virus will kill itself. So maybe this is a positive thing. If this is true and everything's right, this is a sign of our future that things can get back to normal. I don't know what to see in here because there's probably a lot of misinformation. I got to wrap. There's a lot to handle in those 2 seconds. I know Tori wanted to talk a lot about politics.
Not at all.
But we got it all in.
I think we just need to mention John Mayer.
Lindsay, you're the best. I miss your face, Lindsay. I haven't seen you in a while.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
We'll be right back.
Do you have a life insurance policy?
Has been a big shakeup at The Ellen Show. We've been talking about it for weeks. 3 of her top producers have now left the show following accusations of alleged sexual misconduct. The executive producers Mary Connolly and Andy Lasner, who you always see on the show, you know, like Andy, he will stay on board. Ellen also issued another apology to the staff during a video call. She said she wasn't perfect, but she was sorry if she ever hurt anyone's feelings by being too short, unkind, or impatient with them. She also vowed to make things better going forward. She also said that she was an introvert, so it's much harder for her to sort of be out there and be sort of the peppy Ellen that's always there. I'm glad actions being taken place. This is what should happen, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's big of Ellen to apologize. Maybe she didn't know of everything that was going on there. Again, I only know this secondhand, just like all of you guys. So I'm trying to look at this, you know, with a bigger perspective. Sometimes when you're in this business, I'm sure she comes in for an hour or two a day at the most, right? And she gets all of her information. She knows the people she needs to talk to. And if there's someone else wanting to talk to her, she's a big star. I'm sure that's their moment. I just got in. I'm working on the Ellen Show. I'd like to get my shot to talk to her. She doesn't really have time for all that. I'm not making excuses for her. It's never right to treat anybody demeaning, but sometimes you get caught up with these yes men and yes women patting you on the back all the time, and you forget about the little people. And I think this is a wake-up call to Ellen, so I think she's handling it well.
Lindsay, I'm also glad, I'm going to get your take on this next story. I'm just glad that those 3 producers are out. I think they caused toxicity and some problems that I knew personally, so I'm glad they're gone. Well, there was a big breakthrough in one of New York's most notorious cold cases. 2 men have been charged in the 2002 murder of Jam Master Jay. Now, he's the former DJ from Run DMC. His real name was Jason Mizell. Federal prosecutors allege the 2 men killed him in cold blood as part of a drug-related homicide at a recording studio in Queens. Mizell was famous for some old-school rap hits you may recognize, including this song, Tricky.
That's right, on time. It's tricky. It's here we go. It's tricky to rock around. That's right, on time. It's tricky. It's tricky.
All right, Linz, what do you make of this? I mean, why did it take so long?
I have no idea. I mean, Jam Master Jay died when he was 37, and now 18 years later, we're finally getting some reprieve. But I'm so happy that the family could finally have some closures. You know, with like Tupac and Biggie, those families never really got public closure. So it's good to see this happening. And also, Jam Master Jay was like one of the most influential hip-hop artists of all time with Adidas and Run DMC. And so I think everybody, the whole world might be getting closure, wondering what happened.
Wow, well said. I'm glad it's finally happening. Well, coming up on DBL, Al catches up with Daily Show correspondents Roy Wood Jr. and Desi Leidick. If you need a laugh, don't go away. Welcome back to DBL. Roy Wood Jr. and Desi Lydick are correspondents on The Daily Show, and they're bringing their wit and talent to the Democratic National Convention. Al caught up with them earlier in today's DBL Spotlight.
I'm going to need an hour and a crew and a producer to replace that producer. You know, creative differences.
There's no need for concern. What you need to...
It's my pleasure to introduce my boy, my homie, Mr. Roy Wood Jr. and Desi Lydick. You guys are now officially DBL family. What's going on? How you guys feeling?
We're doing
good,
all
man.
right.
I appreciate you giving Desi kind of a black greeting too, because you was like, your tone was very brotherly with me, and you gave Desi a little bit of that dap up too. I appreciate that, Al. Don't make her feel unwelcome, because we've known each other for years.
Exactly. That's how I would bring her up on Urban Night. Man,
I'll take it.
Guys, we were just talking in the studio before we got started with the interview. I was talking with one of the stage managers about just like how different everything is, and in a weird way, how I'm getting used to this kind of current and also post-quarantine life. What do you guys miss most about pre-quarantine life?
Babysitters.
So much. Teachers, anyone to watch my son, really, literally anyone.
The COVID-19 numbers are surging, yet, wearing masks somehow is still up for debate in some places. Do me a favor, tell me what your favorite excuse that you've heard for not wearing one.
That I can't breathe well while wearing a mask. It's like, okay, if you can, just think about what it might be like if you actually got COVID. Like, that is not a logical, it's not that bad.
Am I the only one that noticed that people who don't want to wear a mask sound just like dudes who don't want to wear a condom? They're like, it don't feel the same. I ain't gonna catch nothing. You believe in all that data? Dr. Fauci don't know what he's talking about.
It's embarrassing, but Roy, you're a diehard sports fan, I know this. But the good news is professional sports are back, sort of. So what do you think about this new normal with virtual fans? It's weird watching the NBA with like those fake people in the audience.
It's better than what baseball does on weekends, where they put in CGI crowds and it looks like a video game, and then they cut to another shot and the stadium's empty and it looks like everybody got teleported out the stadium. What I am excited about with sports, I'm excited that the NBA has lifted some of their bubble restriction and they're allowing family members and longtime friends of players to come inside the bubble. That's right. It's going to be some longtime friends of players.
All right, well, we got to switch to politics now, because I know that's what you guys do. And, the way 2020 is gone, this year's DNC is probably going to be one for the books. So just tell me, like, what are some things that you guys are hoping are going to happen?
If Kamala could just like throw a little shade at Pence, that would be really nice. I feel like she's probably going to do that.
If I was Biden at this point in the election, I would stop talking and I would just let Kamala just go up to the mic and say everything that needs to be said. Biden just needs to let Kamala flow, and then Biden just come in like a hype man. Yeah. And just be quiet.
Couldn't agree more. Guys, we're excited about the show. Roy Wood, Desi, thank you guys so much for chatting with us, stopping by. You guys have a home here at DBL. Roy, Desi, as soon as everything gets back to normal, we need you in studio when you're in Denver. We love you guys here, and we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Hello, I wonder...
experts have always recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but new research is challenging that, saying it depends on your own body clock. We're chatting about it in today's Rise and Thrive, sponsored by SoClean. So according to Time magazine, scientists say we should nix the one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, each person should be listening more closely to their internal clocks. If you wake up before your alarm, get up. Don't snooze. Some people's internal clocks are hours off from others. To reset your clock, let light come into your bedroom early to wake up. Pulling an all-nighter will also reset your body clock, but that sounds terrible. For more ways to rest easy, go to SoClean.com or call 1-800-528-6029. I want to get to some comments that we got. Shelly from Facebook says, sorry, Michelle, I don't take voting advice from you. She cannot relate to the average person. And Patty from Facebook says, I worry that some of these people are outshining Joe Biden. I'm waiting to literally hear him speak. He's been too silent. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with the whole DNC.
Oh, 72 more sweet days or whatever it is. I can't wait.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Dripping with sarcasm. Lindsay, we love you. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.